What up everyone, how's it going? Matt Sweets here for another museum tour. Today, we are going through some of the weirdest kendamas in my collection. Now, some of these are so weird and obscure, I don't even know what it is about or where it's from. I just know who gave it to me and that it looks cool. So we're gonna go through them today. I'm gonna explain what I can about the ones I know, and the other ones you're just gonna have to search yourself, and maybe you can help me find out more about these damas. Let's get right into this and start looking at some of these things. As you can see right away, there's some goofy looking kendamas. To preface this whole thing, back in like 2013, I think, or 14, my friend Jeffrey Von Rasta, some as you know from YouTube, was a kendama player, and when he kind of stopped playing kendama, he wanted to get rid of his collection, and he had a lot of really cool novelty kendamas that he had collected over the years, and I was like, let me have them. So I can't remember how much I bought it for, but he sent me 2 boxes full of crazy kendamas. So a lot of them are from him. So I just want to start the video by saying thank you, Jeffrey, if you see this. I really appreciate you giving me first chance to get all those because it's made my collection really cool. Okay, so let's just get into it and start looking at some of these. This is a DigiKen. So this one actually plays music as you do it, and I wonder if it still works. Oh man, Coop, let's get that. Dang, that's an epic noise, dude. So let's see if we can get it to do a little bit of music. Hey, look at that. So, DigiKen, this is like a little bit older. I thought there was a date on it. 1998 is when this was from. So this is an old kendama. We have a mini version in the museum as well, but this is one that I thought was really cool. And it is very simple, but it's very cool, and it makes some noises, and you can play a song, and so very cool piece of kendama history. This dude in the back is like one of my favorite things. I thought he was gone, and I found him. But he is like an anime monster, essentially, and I'm not sure from which cartoon. I don't know if I've ever even seen the real thing, but this is him. And I actually have a packaged version from some friends who sent it to me because they know I love kendama. And so we have this one, and then we have one in a fresh box too. But he actually can throw his own dome. So he's a kendama in the sense that like his head, this is his head, and his body is the ken, you know? And I can get it to sit on there sometimes. Oh, come on. Oh, I didn't have his body up right. Okay, here we go. So that's how he sits on a shelf. He's pretty cool. I like him a lot. If anyone can give me more info about it, please put in the comments. I would love to see it. But I thought that dude was pretty rad. This one, you guys all know who this is. Come on, Sesame Street's very own Elmo. And on the bottom it says Universal Studios Japan. So that's pretty rad. Another one that like, it's a super cool part of my collection that I would never have otherwise. And I'm not even gonna unstring it because I don't wanna maybe break it. I'm gonna just leave it strong. Okay, again, another one from Japan. When I went to Japan, there were McDonald's kids meals that had Pikachu ball and cups. Oh, how cute. Hey, there we go. So I had to snag a kids meal in Japan just to get this, but I thought that was really cool. This is from Ozura. It's just a spike tower, so your only job is to spike it, but it's supposed to be like Mount Fuji. So I thought that was just weird enough. Like you can do weird stuff, but really it's like that. So spike it, it's kind of cool, kind of like a bolero. This one is another weapon from an anime character, and he has his own gunslinger hole. So if you're, this is like the Caleb Jeffries Pro mod, essentially. Which you can take that idea if you want, Caleb, and just run with it. But like, it gets so honed because it has that like loop for, just like it was like a Nerf gun or something. It's really, really dope. So again, I don't know the anime character or what it's from, but it's such a cool piece, and I've never seen anyone else with one. So I love having that one in the museum. Next is a kendama that is heavier than any other kendama in the museum. This is made out of pure aluminum. This is pure metal, both parts, fully CNC'd by our very own Kenda Alex, Super Nog. He actually made me my very own seal for this one because he custom made this batch for me. So that was super cool part that not many people got. And it's not strung up, and I won't play it because it can't withstand any string that we've ever found. But it's a really cool piece of kendama history, and there's probably a lot of people watching this video who have one or have seen one or played one, and if you ever have the chance, you should do it because it's a lot of fun. But it's very dangerous and it's very loud. But shout out Supernog, Kenda Alex, legend team member who used to make and sell those. What else do we have over here? Okay, this is one of my favorite in the collection. This is an original Sour Mash stove. So back in like 2011, 2012, when we just started Kendama, Sour Mash lived in San Francisco, lived down the street from Jake Wiens, and they became friends, and Sour Mash started doing weird stuff because he was an artist. And this was one of the things he did. He molded stoves to be played. So there's a tama hole in it. The edge is meant to be able to be hooked, so you can do stove flips. And you can get it to lighthouse. We've been able to lunar it. Like, you can literally do just about every trick with it, and it's meant to look like a stove. But this was an original run of like 8 or something, I think, and I got one of the first ones he ever made. So this is a sick piece of kendama history that I would never part with. But I don't know. Let's drop some comments if we think Mash should make some more stoves. Who would buy one? Because I definitely would, because it's so much fun. Okay, this one, I have to wipe the dust off, and I have to be very careful because it may break. This is arguably one of the oldest kendamas in my collection, and I found it while I was thrifting in Japan, in a random town. I think it was in Onomichi, and near Kendama Rock Cafe. And there was this thrift store, and a guy saw me playing kendama, and he said, "Hold on a second, I have something in back." And he didn't say that; he kind of like motioned to me. But when he came out, he had this package. And this dama you can tell by the packaging how old it is. It's like falling apart. It's from like the 40s or 50s. The number on here it says 1286. We tried to call the Toy Association in Japan, my friend Yuka did, and they didn't even have records because the number's so old. So this is definitely like a very, very old Japanese toy, which is really, really cool. Dude, there definitely weren't YouTube tutorials, you know? This is how people were learning, was just from this, so. Very cool. Very, very cool piece of kendama history that, like, again, I've never seen another one of these in the world. Okay, we've been through the first half. Now we have a second whole half of crazy damas. I hope you've been enjoying it so far. I want to hear what you have to say in the comments. Make sure you let me know which one you think is the dopest. This one is the Acrylic Kendama. Fully acrylic kendama. This one is from my good friend Sue and the Sue Lab team out in Japan. I went to his shop for the first time, and this was in his collection, and I was like, holy cow. Like, whenever I see someone else's collection, I'm always very interested to see pieces that I don't have in my own. And when I saw this, I was like, holy cow, how'd you get that? Where'd you get it? And he told me a little story about it, and then he proceeded to give it to me as a gift. And I really couldn't believe it, and I thanked him so, so much. So again, Sue, thank you very much. Because this is a one-of-a-kind kendama. I'm pretty sure it's handmade by somebody. I haven't seen another one like it, but a piece that sits in the collection and people look at and are stoked on every single time. So thank you very much, Sue Lab, for that one. One of the more weird pieces in the collection is this one. Again, if you guys know who this anime character is, I'm not sure who it is, but they turned him into a life-size kendama. So his hands are literally the cups, his feet are the bottom, and then his head is the spike. But this is just the weird one because it's just essentially like a naked dude on the shelf with a thumb on his head. So very weird, but cool. This is the health kendama from Shin Fuji. Oh, dude, every episode, there's always something that falls, no matter what. Golly. I thought we made it. We're just gonna leave him lying down because he is very, he likes to fall. Okay, so this is the health kendama from Shin Fuji. It was a kendama that was made, I was told, for older people in mind, and I don't know why, but that's what I was told. The tama has some really weird grooves in it that makes it almost not a tama. The serrato is really thick. It's more Nitsugechi ball style, where it's this big into this little thing. The seal is on the serrato, which is really weird. It's out of an ash wood, or like a kiyaki most likely. And then it's got the GT swoop, you know, before before GT was swooping Damas, old Health Kendama was out here in, 2000 whatever, swooping Damas. I don't know the date of this one's release. But yeah, so really goofy Kendama, one I always wanted to buy for my collection, and so I snagged one. So here it is, the Health. If we're gonna stick with some JKA Damas, let's do this one. This is the Shin Fuzzy. And we call it the Shin Fuzzy because the Tama is fully velvet. It looks like velvet, it is. There's cotton sticking to it because it's so sticky. It actually plays really well, and the velvet actually does help it stick a lot, But that being said, it is velvet and it only works so well. So it was a cool thing. The actual name I don't think was Shin Fuzzy, it's just what us Americans ended up calling it. And then they made a smaller version for kids as well. I think that was kind of the point behind the fuzzy paint, was to make it so that kids wouldn't hurt themselves as much. And so this may look like a Dama that was released recently on April 1st by one of our friends over in Denmark. No ring stall, just a little miniature swoop. So pretty cool, fuzzy Dama. You guys saw these last time, but I wanted to show them again. They're 5-cup Kendamas, 2 variations from JKA from the Ozura factory. Just really unique, When I started Kendama, these were like for sale, This was a part of Kendama life when I started, so having one of these was a really cool thing to have. This is probably like one of the son of a biscuit. One of these, this is one of the weirdest ones I have that I have zero knowledge about. It's like the goofiest little Kendama. It has like a little pin and these cups there is no swoop. It is just a barrel. And then the bottom, it has the boost, balance bevel, so they got that right. Tama's really small, and on the bottom, it just says Japan. So yeah, this is one of the weirdest ones and one of the coolest ones that I have, I think, in the collections. When people ask me my weirdest one, this is usually the one I mention. And we have Doraemon here. Doraemon's just a famous cartoon character from Japan. And this is all plastic with like a rubber bouncy ball on top, so I thought that was worth sharing. Pretty cool. These are Tortoise Kendamas. Again, I think these were designed with elderly in mind so that they could play Kendama a little bit easier. The cups, as you can see, are unlike any other cups. You can just, the cup, it engulfs the Tama, you know what I mean? It takes up most of the Tama. So just a really unique design. The ring stall is obviously super, super high, and they used a screw to make sure that they held the serrato to the Ken. So a really cool Kendama, really cool part of Kendama history that I'm very glad to have in my collection. I love that serrato. It's kind of ugly, but kind of cool at the same time. All right, we're getting to the end. We're almost through the weirdest Kendamas in the Sweets Museum. This one is more just old and unique than it is weird. It is weird in the fact that there's like the ring stall is up here, I would say. It's again a Nitsugechi's ball style where it goes from small to big. A flat tip. Cooper probably like this for tight ropes. It would work perfectly. Again, a small bevel, small hole. This is really old. I don't know what that seal is all about. But if anyone can give me any information, I'd love to hear it because it's a really old Kendama. The paint is hand painted and very cool though. I like that one, which is why I showed it to you. This one's super goofy. A friend from Instagram made this. It's just a typewriter. He took a typewriter apart and he put it back together on a Kendama. So very much like, it's almost like a sculpture or a piece of art. It was a Sweets Kendama before. So I just thought it was really, really weird and unique, and that's what this is all about. And you can actually spin some of the dials and stuff. It's like, it's very crazy. So thank you for this one, for the Sweets Museum. All right, we've came to the very end, our last weird piece from the Sweets Museum. So now I have a huge collection of Yatim stuff. So this is the most famous anime from Japan who plays Kendama as his weapon. So you can see in this photo that he is rocking the Kendama. That is his weapon, and he's kicking it, This was the official one that they made for like the game. This was the one from the movie or from the TV show in stores that you could buy as like a replica. I have this one, I have a costume, I have like a bunch of other stuff, and they actually made a wooden version. This one says 2009 on it. But again, they got that GT shape with the swoop in the bottom. This one says 2009 on the bottom, so this is a wooden version of the Yatim Kendama. But yeah, another just weird part of Kendama history. There's a lot of anime characters that have Kendama as part of their like outfit or part of their weapon system, and this was one of the dudes, Yatim. So that's it, everybody. That wraps up the weirdest Kendamas in my collection. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something new, saw a new Kendama that you didn't know existed. If you like this video, please share it with someone else. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't. We're so close to 100K, and every subscription counts, so please hit that follow button. Leave a comment. I want to see what you guys thought was the craziest Kendama. Thanks for tuning in as always, and we'll be back another time with another museum tour. Peace out. Thanks a lot for tuning in and checking out our videos. Make sure you go and smash that subscribe button right there. We need all the subscribers we can get. Also, you can shop right here. Go to Sweets Kendamas and get yourself a new Dama.